Today, I'm gonna show you the fastest, most flavorful Rotel dip you've ever had in your life. No Velveeta cheese, no crock pot, and it's so good, you probably won't have any leftovers either. Meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen. All right guys, we've all had Rotel dip, right? So what makes this one different? There's a few things that take this recipe to the next level. Secret ingredients. First and foremost, you wanna ditch the Velveeta completely and go to your local grocery store deli counter and ask them for white and yellow American cheese. Ask them to give it to you in a block so you can shred it yourself. You can even use slices if you want to. Next up, we're going to talk about the meat mixture. We're going with 80-20 ground beef and 1 pound of spicy ground pork. Now, if you don't like pork, you can leave that out. Just add a little spice to your ground beef or ground turkey, chicken, whatever you decide to use. Last but not least, you want to make your tortilla chips from scratch at home. So we're going to use corn tortillas. We're going to cut them into quarters and then fry them, hit them with a little kosher salt. That's gonna elevate this to the next level. You can get all of this done in 30 minutes or less, and it's way better than anything you ever had before, trust me. All right guys, so first things first, you wanna go ahead and get your prep out of the way. We're gonna dice our onions, our bell pepper. We're using some jalapeños for a little spice. You can leave that out if you don't want it to be too spicy. Next, we're gonna go ahead and start on our ground beef and our spicy pork sausage. We get that in our Dutch oven or pot that we're using, and we're gonna go ahead and cook that. You wanna get some crispy brown bits. That's gonna add texture, color, and flavor to your queso or to your Rotel dip. So you just wanna work that around. Once the meat is fully cooked, we're gonna go ahead and add in our veggies, our garlic, and then we're gonna start building our queso dip. All right guys, once the meat is fully cooked, we're gonna remove that from the skillet with a slotted spoon. You wanna do that way you don't run the risk of making your queso or your Rotel dip too oily. Now we're gonna get our vegetables into the pot with the remaining fat that's left from the sausage and the meat. If it's excess, like it's too much, you can go ahead and use like a paper towel or something to strain some of that off. We don't want it to be too oily. Garlic going in. Gonna give that a good mix, start to season. Then we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of flour to create like a light, very small roux. That's gonna help thicken things up just a little bit. And then we're going in with 1 to 1.5 cups of milk. Now, as far as the seasoning goes, we have my all-purpose seasoning. We got some chili powder, some smoked paprika, some buttery garlic pepper seasoning. That's optional. 1 packet of Sazon and a little chicken bouillon powder. Gonna add all of that in. Quick reminder guys, all the specific measurements and ingredients for this recipe and all of my recipes can be found at mrmakeithappen.com. Gonna give that a good mix. Immediately smelling amazing. Great color developing already. Gonna go in with a tablespoon or 2 of all-purpose flour. Let's give that a mix, and then we're gonna add our milk and then slowly start to incorporate that cheese. I'm telling you guys, this one is going to be special. If you want to do it in the crock pot, you can. I feel like you lose a little bit of the flavor elements from, you know, getting the color on the meat and just building everything in the pot. This is way faster than that way too. But, you know, do whatever makes the most sense for your party. All right, people, so far so good. This is coming along absolutely perfect. We're gonna add 4 ounces of room temperature cream cheese. That's gonna give us a little bit more body, smooth everything out, give you that consistency that you know and love. And then we're going in with 1 can of Rotel with green chilies. I'm gonna leave the juice in the can. You can strain it if you want to, but I like to use that juice to kind of thin things out just a little bit. You could also add milk a little bit later to thin things out if you need to. But just work that in. We're gonna taste as you go, adjust to your preferences as always. You wanna make sure that you add the meat back before you start adding more seasoning. That way you can get a real accurate, you know, assessment of how flavorful your queso dip is. All right, people, if you're an overachiever and you really wanna take this recipe over the top, you wanna fry your own tortilla chips. Grab some corn tortillas, cut them into quarters, fry them at 350 degrees until they're extra crispy. As soon as they come out of that oil, you wanna hit them with some kosher salt. We're gonna plate this up a little extra Rotel tomatoes and green chilies right on top, some fresh cilantro, and then it's time to get in there for the taste test. This is the part where I say brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. The only thing left to do is dig in for the taste test, but before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. One last reminder, guys, if you want this recipe in detail, descriptions, pictures, all that good stuff, visit MrMakeItHappen.com. And without further ado, I'm gonna pretend like this is the first time I'm tasting this. I've really been eating more than I am happy to admit off camera. Cheers. This is my weakness, one of many, but this is up there. Any sort of chips and cheese dip situation is over for my diet. You guys gotta try this one. Y'all wanna try?